grab an orange sheet. I'll pass them out for y'all here. All right. Y'all remember we did area and perimeter? Throwing it back to middle school. Okay. Not going away because today in this unit, the main thing, especially your next test, is going to be about surface area. So every day you're going to need these formulas, so you might as well grab them on the way in. You know what I'm saying? Orange sheet. All right. What are these cross-section shapes? Yesterday we learned that you slice a figure. Slice. You slice a 3D figure, solid. You get a two-dimensional 2D shape. So, look at this first thing. What do you call this thing that's pointy at the top? What? Wait, what did you say? Oh, sorry. That is the top vertex. But the whole shape that is pointing at the top is called what in general? Egypt. Were you going to say it? Ah, pyramid. It is a pyramid. And pyramids, since they're always pointing at the top, they are full of triangles, right? So if you cut that vertically, guess what you're going to see? Triangles, all right? So this pyramid cross section cuts it down this line, and then you can't really see it, but it cuts across, and it cuts back up. What shape is that? My guys, it's triangle. You cut a pyramid or a cone vertically, you're going to get yourself a triangle shape. Now, what about this? This cross section is parallel to the base. And remember, if it's parallel to the base, it matches the base. And what is this base? How many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what do you call that five-sided figure? Five-sided figure. Cookie Monster, wake up. What's the five-sided figure called? Pentagon. All right, so if you cut parallel to the pentagon, guess what you get? Another pentagon. Okay. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pentagon. Make sure you have that written down. And we are going to do some notes again. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this short. Now, this might seem a little intense, but you got to stay with me. You got to know how to do surface area. Okay? This is the main and most important thing you got to know for this unit. Okay? We're doing like a little half unit on surface area. Then we're going to get into volume. Okay? So you really got to know how to do this. So I hope everyone's locked in. I know it's early in the morning to try to wake up. It's the first of the day. Right? We've got to have extreme intensity and a lively pace. All right, here we go. Okay, surface area. Y'all remember Monday we talked about there's like 4 types of figures? Prisms, pyramids, cones, cylinders, okay? Well, I'm not going to do everything in one day. We're going to cut it up in a couple days here. So the first 2 figures we're going to talk about is prism and cylinder. Prism and cylinder. Now, we are talking about surface area, and you got to know the 2 types of surface area. So go ahead and write surface area. If you see surface area, they're asking you to find the area in square units of all the total, underline total, all surfaces of objects, and it's found by adding all areas of the external surfaces, including the bases. Everybody, surface area, total, it's total, and it includes the bases, okay? Now, the only time you do not include the bases is when you have something called lateral, L-A-T-E-R-A-L, lateral surface area. Lateral surface area is the area in square units of all the lateral surfaces of objects found. Now, what does lateral mean? Anybody in sports ever done like lateral drills where you're like running sideways? Ever heard of that? Okay. Or you ever worked out your lats? Where are they? They're only on the side. Guess what lateral means? Side. Okay. The lateral is side, only side. Okay. So that being said, the lateral surface area is only the side surfaces of a 3D figure. It does not include the bases. Underline not include the bases. Okay, so let's recap because this is the basic stuff you got to know. When you see the word surface area, that's total. It's everything. When you see the word lateral surface area, that's only the side. Okay? Now, gotta get some formulas going here. Let me get my little out. Now, all right, so back on track here. Lateral surface area. Everybody, go ahead and put this. Ready? Go ahead and put LSA, lateral surface area, equals PH. PH. Okay. And then over here, off to the right, you can put SA equals PH plus 2 big B. Okay. Now, it is important that you know what P and B stand for. Okay. So, capital P. Does everyone see that it's a capital P? Okay. Capital P is the perimeter of the base. Whenever it's a capital, it has to do with the base. Okay. Okay. And then this is the most important one. This is the one most people get wrong, and it kills me. Capital B is the area of the base. Ready? So this is very important. Okay. When you see a capital P, it's not going to be labeled on your picture. It is going to be something you have to figure out. You have to add up all the perimeter of the base. Okay. And this is the one. Most people fumble. Don't fumble, right? Everyone looking up here? So when you see a capital B, that's the area of the base. Now, how do you find the area of the base shape? Well, it depends on what shape the base is. So when you are given all the formulas, okay, you're going to have to say, oh, I see that shape. And now I can use my formula to find the area of that shape. Okay, so I want you to shade. Okay, use your pencil to shade. The lateral surface area is only the sides. I want you to shade the sides here. Only the sides and not the base. Lateral is only the sides. Right? So we're shading this. Don't forget to write P and B. And guess what you're going to shade for the total? Total includes the bases. It's total, so it's everything. So go ahead and shade everything here, okay? Todos los things. All the sides. Okay? So lateral is only the sides. Total is total. Okay? Let's get it started, okay? So, everyone's locked in over here. We gotta find both, okay? So on all these figures, we're gonna find both lateral and total surface area. Some of them are gonna be easier than others, but we're gonna use that orange sheet as a reference, okay? You gotta remember area and perimeter. Okay, number one. What are those? Okay, so what is this? When it's connected by a bunch of rectangles, it's a prism. So we're gonna use our lateral P times H, okay? So, before we do anything, we should figure out what is P, what is H, and what is capital B. So, capital P off to the left here. Go ahead and put P. The bottom of this prism, do you see how it's 5 and 5? Guess what these other two are? 5 and 5. Can you find the perimeter? 5, 5, 5, 5. What do you do with those 5s? Does everyone know perimeter is adding up the base, all around the base, okay? So yes, add them up. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is what? Say it, Landon. All right, Cookie Monster, 20. Look at Gabriel locked in. All right, now, what's the height? Now, when you say H height, it's the height of the whole prism. So do we know the height of the whole prism? That one, little h, is labeled. It should be labeled, hopefully, right? So h is labeled. It's 15. Okay, now here's where you got to do some thinking. Big B. What does big B stand for again? Area of the base. Now, how do I find the area of a square that's 5 by 5? I'm not adding them up. That was perimeter. And what do I do with 5 and 5 to find the area? Multiply. Length times width, or base times height, however you want to say it. Does everyone remember, for a square, you just multiply the two dimensions. 5 times 5. If you didn't know that, where would you look? Here's a square. Side squared. 5 squared. Okay? So again, use your orange sheet. It's not just there for decoration. So 5 times 5, or 5 squared, is 25. Okay. Was any of this too crazy so far? It's a softball, hopefully, right? So you add up the perimeter on the bottom, you find the height, you multiply to find the area of the base, and now you're going to plug stuff in to these formulas, okay? So the lateral surface area, the LSA, is P times H. Well, what's P and H? P, we said, was 20. H is 15. 20 times 15 is 300. Ta-da! Not bad, right? We can do that. And what about surface area? SA. Remember, the implied thing is here that it's total, so it's going to be pH plus 2B. I want you to notice something. Whenever you're doing total or regular surface area, it includes, like the formula is going to include the lateral, right? So didn't we already do pH? Didn't we already do this little piece right here? 300? you're going to basically do 300 plus 2 times the base, which is 25, right? So you can either plug everything in, or you can replace this pH with this pH, 300. Yeah, 300 goes right there. Boop. So it's going to be 300 plus 2B is 2 times 25. And you can just type it in one step. 300 plus 2 times 25. Or 2 times 25 is 50. 300 plus 50 is 350. You could sometimes do some mental math. That's fine. Okay. Now, by the way, both of these are supposed to be units. So the units are squared. Okay. So you can go ahead and put like u squared. Whatever the units are squared. Whatever the units are squared. Okay. Area, 2-dimensional square units. Okay. Lo siento that there's not units of measure. Okay, so far so good, right? No big deal. Move it down. Now, you, by now, already, you have learned this. Like, if you get that, you get it. The only thing that can be different is the base might change. Or, like the example 3, it might be a weird base you're not familiar with, and it could be sideways. We'll get to that one, okay? But number 2, how is 2 different than 1? What's the big difference? Triangle. It's a triangle, right? I know y'all know this. So it's a triangle at the bottom, right? It's not just any triangle, it's a right triangle. Everybody put a little right angle here, okay? Right angle. Right triangle. Okay. Now, what did we have to do last time to find, what do we have to find here? P, H, and B, right? Now, I want y'all to look at something here. I promise you, you're going to keep seeing these. If you see a triangle and it has a missing side, what Pythagorean theorem did we learn? Okay, the Pythagorean theorem, right? So, look at example 2. If you wanted to find the perimeter of the bottom, it's 3, 4, nothing. Do we just give up and guess? Or no. If we have a right triangle with 2 sides that we know, 3 and 4, we can figure out that third side using Pythagorean theorem, okay? Now, I'm going to write Pythagorean theorem off to the left here. Now, if you had memorized your, special right triangles, you would know 3, 4, and what make a right triangle. Well, regardless, let's pretend like we don't know. Just make sure we know how to, let's remind ourselves Pythagorean theorem right here, right? Y'all with me? Now look, make sure you're writing this down too. So, if you only have 2 sides of a triangle, of a right triangle, plug it in. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals, C, whatever this is. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. Added up, you get 25. And then the square root is how you get rid of the square. What's the square root of 25? It's 5, okay? 5 times 5 is 25. So now we know that this right here is 5, okay? So that's one tricky thing that you might have to remember from a few units back. You might have to do Pythagorean theorem. It's not going to just disappear. It will haunt you like a ghost, okay? A friendly ghost. A Pythagorean ghost. Okay, anyways. So now can I find the perimeter of the bottom? Can I add up these 3 sides to find the perimeter? Right? What's 3 plus 4 plus 5? What do y'all think? 3 plus 4 plus 5? It is 12. Now, do we know the height? Is it labeled between the 2 triangles? Yes, it's 12. And now, my friends that I treasure so much, okay? This is the place where people mess up so much. Big B stands for what again? On your notes, it tells, we wrote it down. It's the area of the base. What shape is this base? Say it. Triangle. So, my goodness, if you're not sure how to find the area of a triangle, please look at your orange sheet. Okay? Because most people forget one little step when they find the area of a triangle. So let me read it to you. The area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Most people forget to divide by 2 when they do the area of a triangle. Not you, but some people do that. Okay? So let's look at this triangle. What is the base and the height of the triangle? Only this triangle. So if you have a right triangle, it's going to be base of 4, height of 3. So yes, you're going to do 4 times 3. And then what are we not going to forget to do? For a triangle, you must divide by 2. 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So now we have P, we have H, and we have B. You got to be able to find perimeter of the base, height of the prism, and then the area of the base. Now, we're just going to do it like the one above us. We're going to find the lateral surface area, P times H. P is 12, H is 12. And I'll save you some desmosing. 12 times 12 is 144. We'll call it units squared. Okay, so far so good? Also, surface area, which remember that means total, is going to be that pH we already found plus 2b. Big B, area of the base. So we already know pH is 144 plus 2 times the area of the base, which we said was 6. And that gives us 156 when we plug it into Desmos. Units squared. Make sure you've got all this down, okay? So far, so good, hopefully. Now, number 3 is a little bit of a doozy, okay? Let's get through it so we can do the back. The back will be a little bit easier because cylinders is pretty straightforward. Cool. Okay. On example 3. Now, once again, we got to find P, H, and B, right? Now, P is not too bad. This is a regular polygon. If this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5. Basically 5 times 5 for the perimeter. 5 times 5 is 25. Hopefully we all know that mental math, okay? So again, if you have a regular polygon, just add it up, however many sides there are. Now, let me ask you a silly question. When you lay down, like you lay down on the couch or something, does your height change? No. I mean, like if you were 5'10" and you lay down, you're still 5'10", you're just laying down a different direction, right? Okay. So I want you to notice this example 3 is a prism taking a nap, laying down, right? The base is not on the bottom, right? Because like the bases have to be parallel. So those two pentagons, right? Those 5-sided figures, those pentagons are parallel. So as weird as it sounds, the height is not up and down. The height is over here. So what's the height? Does everyone see that the height is 14 because it is oriented a different direction? It is laying down, okay? So please notice that, okay? If your two bases are side to side, the height is side to side. Okay, I'm done with that. Now, here's the next thing that I want y'all to not get cooked on. Big B. What is this shape called again? a pentagon. And a pentagon is an example of what on your orange sheet? So you look around, and it should be the very last one on the back. It says regular polygon. Okay, y'all remember doing this? Regular polygon? The formula is little a, big P over 2. Little a, big P over 2. And if you don't remember what little a is, let me show you. The little a is from the center to a midpoint right here. It's called the apothem, okay? So big B is apothem times perimeter divided by 2 for a polygon. So apothem is 3.44. Times the perimeter we found was 25 divided by 2. 3.44 times 25 divided by 2. And that gives me 43. Big B is 43, but it's not labeled. You have to do a little bit of math to figure it out using your orange sheet, okay? So let me move that up a little bit. So what am I going to do? Once again, lateral is PH. P times H. P is 25. H is 14. 25 times 14 is 350. Run this down. Now, this time we have units. 350 feet squared, or square feet. Imagine if you had square feet. He doesn't even have square pants. SpongeBob has rectangular prism pants. We've been like lied to our whole lives. Oh wow. Now, what about total or just regular surface area? Once again, if it's a prism like this, it's pH plus 2B, big B that is. 350 goes here, plus 2 times B, which we figured out was 43. 350 plus 243. 436 feet squared. Square feet. All right, when you get that, flip it. All right, backside, ready? Now, what are these shapes called? Look like a can. These are cylinders. Okay, so we were saying lateral surface area and total surface area. Lateral shades only the side. Total shades the whole thing. Okay, now look. You're going to have to, if you wrote what I had before, you're going to have to rewrite this. Sorry, okay? Look at the side here, okay? If you're only doing lateral, which is on the side, and you unfold your cylinder, what does this look like on the side here? What does this big thing look like? Rectangle, okay? How do you find the area of a rectangle? You do base times the height. Now the height is the height, but this base, this bottom length, curves around the entire circle and becomes the circumference. So here's what you're going to do. The lateral surface area, make sure you fix this, everybody, is actually going to be 2 pi RH. 2 pi RH. Okay? Whatever you had before there, make sure you fix that because I want y'all to see it. So fix that. Break that. Okay? Let us know. All right. Where's that? Where's that? Right that. We're fixing it. It's 2 pi RH for the lateral surface area. 2 pi R is the base of the rectangle that unfolds. The height is the height. So it's base times height, basically. And then when you do total or regular surface area, that's when it is 2 pi RH. and then you add the two bases. 2b, and instead of b, this is where you put pi r squared. So I will give you these formulas, okay? The only thing you got to know is r and h. What is r? What is h? So we're going to do this pretty quickly here. What is r? Example 1, what's the radius? 4, what's the height? 10, radius is 4, height is 10. We should be able to do this lateral surface area, right? We should just be able to do 2 times pi times r times h. 2 times pi times 4 times 10. What is 2 times pi times 4 times 10? $251.33. And those are units, whatever they are, squared. Okay, regular surface area, 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. This goes here, right? 2 pi rh. 251.33 plus 2 pi 4 squared. There. Okay, 351.86. Units squared. Okay. So, do you need to see another example using those formulas? I don't think you do, but the only difference, what's the difference between example 1 and example 2? It's laying down, taking a nap. So that means the height is not 5 or 10. The height is sideways because it's laying down. The radius is still halfway across, not the whole way, but halfway across. So our LSA would be 2 pi r h, 2 pi 5 8. $251.33. And then our surface area, 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared is 251.33 plus 2 pi 5 squared. $408.41 units squared. Okay. So that's it. Now I'm going to hand you this assignment. We will definitely have class time, whatever's left today and then tomorrow. Okay, but we had to introduce this stuff today, get all this out of our system. This is just prisms and cylinders. So as you can imagine, we're going to have more to do with pyramids and cones. Here we go.